Alright, Volume 8. We are down to our last few stories in Volume 8. So, it has a nice and beautiful painting by Herbert Rudin. And it's really pretty. You can tell it's a little comic booky. But I guess that is the style, especially when they're for kids. This is the painting. And that's right here. Nice, beautiful family portrait of what heaven might be. Okay, and the caption reads, one of the last lessons Jesus taught his disciples was that in heaven there would be no homeless families, for was going to be there. He was going to be there to prepare mansions for all those who love God. Okay, that's what it says. And we are in part 4, story 1, Homes for the Homeless. And again, some of the printing is miraging on the opposite page, so it's kind of throwing me off a bit. Okay. Okay, it says Jesus was not only the Prince of Healers, the Prince of Teachers, and the Prince of Storytellers, he was also the Prince of Prophets. He could see into the future. He knew what was going to happen in the days ahead. Many prophets had spoken to Israel before Jesus came, including Moses, Samuel, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Daniel. But Jesus was the greatest of them all. He talked about things to come as though he knew all about them. And there was so much his disciples wanted to know about the future. Like you and me, they wanted to see tomorrow as clearly as today. Once Peter said to Jesus, "We have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?" Jesus had just told his disciples how hard it is for rich people to enter his kingdom. So Peter wanted to know what reward there was for those who had given up everything, as he and his friends had done. He was thinking of their boats, their fishing nets, their little houses. They had left everything for Jesus. Now they were poor, with sometimes not even a place to sleep save on the open hillside. Was it always going to be like this? Would they never have a home again? For a moment, to cheer them up, Jesus let them look ahead. Truly I say to you, he said, in the new world, when the Son of Man shall sit on his glorious throne, you who have followed me will also sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone who has left house or brothers or sisters or fathers or mothers or children or lands for my name's sake will receive 100-fold and inherit eternal life. I could see Peter, James, and John and the rest of them smiling at each other as Jesus made this promise. To think of that, just humble folk from Galilee would be the chief judges of Israel. How wonderful, yes. At last they would all have nice houses to live in. Never again would they have to wander from place to place, hungry, thirsty, and homeless. But there was something else that they wanted to know. For some time now, Jesus had been dropping hints that he wouldn't be with them much longer. Little children, he said to them once, very tenderly, I shall only be with you a little while now, and where I am going you cannot come. Peter was worried. The awful loneliness clutched at his heart. Lord, where are you going? He asked. Where I'm going, you cannot follow me now, said Jesus, but you shall follow me afterwards. Why can't I follow you now? Asked Peter. He was puzzled. So were the rest of the disciples. They could not bring themselves to believe that in a little while their beloved master would have to leave them. And if he didn't, what would happen to all his promises of houses and friends and loved ones and eternal and life everlasting? Perhaps they thought he was planning to go to Greece or Italy and would soon be back again. Some of the Jews even asked, doesn't he intend to go, and then it's got the pause, and teach the Greeks? John chapter 7, verse 35, RSV. 35, oh yeah, that's what it is. RSV, Revised Standard Version. Now remember what that is now. RSV, Revised Standard Version. As since this is the writers from Great Britain, it's the one they would use. And there's two images on here. They got the 12 up at the top, and then down at the bottom, it's got some people talking. So we have the illustration at the top. Give me a second. See, all 12 there, and two angels on the side, one on one side of the table, one on the other. And then here at the bottom has some people talking in ancient dress. And of course, there's a woman there listening. Normally, women wouldn't be in a group of men. I mean, that's just, enough Bible stuff that you see that. Okay? Okay, let's get back to the story. But Jesus didn't mean that. He was going much further away than Athens or Rome. He was going back to heaven, whence he had come to this earth. Let not your heart be troubled, he said to them in words that will live forever. Sorry, real quick. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare the place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And now, in my mind, I got that song, Father's House, coming in my head. Uh, it's a Christian contemporary song, and it's called My Father's House. I think it's Jars of Clay or audio adrenaline. You can always look it up, but I think it's audio adrenaline or Jars of Clay that sings it. But it's called My Father's House, and I probably am way off. They probably got some that's covered it. Okay. Let's get back to the story. You could not have spoken more. He could have not. He could have not spoken more plainly. He was going not away to his father's house. Maybe I was looking. Maybe he was looking up at the heaven as he spoke. Somewhere in the heart and the hub of this great shiny universe, he would meet the one who sent him and whom he so dearly loved. But no matter how far he went or how long he stayed away, he would never forget his disciples. No, indeed. In, um, Instead, he would prepare a place for them and make it lovelier than lovelier each passing day. There would be lots of room for all of them among the thousand billions orbs that among the 1,000 billion orbs he had created, there were many mansions or abiding places, enough for all who love him. There would be a mansion for Peter, another for James, and another for John. And where would the one and there would be one each for all his faithful followers. None would be homeless anymore. And then it has an illustration, and it's a Herbert Rodin's, and because it has the H on it, and it looks like it's a watercolor, and it's a representation of Jesus holding his hands up. And the reason why I'm saying it's watercolor is because of the shading difference. I've been watercoloring for yesterday. I watercolored a commission for somebody, and I mailed it off today, and that's how I kind of figure that it's a watercolor. Okay, well that was part 4, story 1, and like always, it's the break. So I'm going to take the break, and then we'll come back, and we got just a few more stories to go, and then we can start on our another volume. And then, of course, the other 2 volumes are going to be the other condensed. Oh, it's going to be fun. You got all that stuff. It's all going to be all at once. But I'll see you in a bit. Go through it with you.